me ask you something. Am I the only one who thinks the UNSC Hornet doesn't get enough attention? What is this, the fourth release of the vehicle? Sure, the first gave it a rough start, but the second and third are really good. Even with the lights and sound system, there's something about this aerial assault or transport vehicle that's functional yet intimidating. And then they decided to wire it down for some reason. The fourth incarnation of the Hornet, this is 2019's UNSC Hornet Blitz. Is it just me, or was this intended to be another anniversary set they decided to release early? We got recreations of all the original large sets already, and this seems to mix well. Sure, it's green, not gray, but look at the Scorpion. I have a few issues with the change-up, and I don't really think of it as an upgrade, more just a change in a different direction, but would that be a bad thing? We'll see. The set comes with two bases colored in green mixed with milk and charcoal, a pistol in black, and this large golden 343 era fuel rod gun. Seems like the golden weapon before they were cool. I think the Grunt needs it if he's taking on the Hornet. The Pilot is definitely making me think this is a 10th anniversary set in disguise. He may not have been in the original Hornet set, but the Pilot was first released in green. Let me just say, in the new Articulation, it's a wonderful update. Black and cream for the undersuit, a black belt, vibrant metallic blue and matte black on the helmet, and of course, how can I express my admiration for the metallic green color on the armor pieces? Oh, that helmet looks good. Reminds me of the days when we called this an ODST because we wanted to. Don't tell him, but in that color, I'm thinking of stealing his boots. Remember when we got 3 grunts in the original Hornet? Well, apparently they were small enough that they clumped them all together to create the ultimate grunt. This is the 3rd design for their articulation, and designed based on the more classic form. Still funny little guys, now with articulation pushing the limits. Proper shoulders, ball joint head, waist rotation, ball joint hips, and even foot rotation. No elbows though. He has dark red armor that opens to reveal a muddy colored nude grunt. I still can't take them seriously. Add the fuel rod gun and okay, I get it, just take my wallet. The Hornet is featured in that nice shiny green color, though I think I preferred it in dark metal before. The light gray is pretty dull, and the build of the body seems pretty uninteresting. Yes, I've compared it enough to the older models, and the size, while not too far off, comes off as disappointing. However, now that I've had it for a while, it's actually got its advantages. This won't be for everyone, but I like that we got something like this. It's like a love child between the Hornet and the Oni VTOL. It also feels personalized and lighter, probably because it doesn't have a sound box, but because it's so light, it's inviting to pick up, fly around, or prop it on a flight stand. The build is serviceable. There's a few tricks here, but with the body that's mostly simple stacked bricks and plates, it just comes off as a tad boring. I do like how they did the flaps in this size, plus no complaints about the console and printed parts. Turbines can rotate around, you can put in the Pilot, but you can also add figures to the sides. There's even bars for the figures to hold. And there's bolt launchers that are only 4 studs long and super easy to fire. Take that, competing brick-based brands! Honestly, I'm really digging this. Sure, it may not be for everyone. I don't get the raw power that I felt with the previous set. But as a tactical, practical Hornet, this does its job. If we're getting this, there are a few things I wish would change. The cockpit should have had the frame. It just feels so empty. Maybe it's because of the size. Maybe they didn't want to paint it over a clear piece, especially one in trans blue. But it just takes out the signature. Another issue is the struts at the bottom that can detach easily if you're not careful. Don't look at these bars for support, they're an illusion. Otherwise, if that's not enough to get you going, there's a few flare pieces underneath the turbines, a minigun attached to the fronts, and extra bolts underneath because some kid's gonna lose them. If this doesn't catch your interest, I don't blame you. There's a presence to the original that's simply not met, but for what it's trying to be, a simpler, smaller model, I think they did decently. Not perfect, doesn't keep some of the interesting shapes, but it is something that I'm glad to have in my collection. Look into it if you want, but it's nothing to kick yourself over if you miss. I mean, if the handsome Pilot isn't worth getting, I don't know what is.